Welcome back, everyone, once again to Hearthstone Battlegrounds Lobby Legends Magic of Azeroth, where we are heading very shortly into our third game of the day, where the pressure is mounting up very much for all of our competitors, because after this game in Group A, we're going to split it in half. The top 4 players going through to tomorrow, the bottom half out of the running. And as we worked it through, technically 7, but realistically 6 of our players are still in the runnings here. And who you're liking the odds of so far? Any standout good players for you from the first 2 games, Lorinda?
Weirdly, I mean, Ceci looks really comfortable, not just playing well, but also on camera looking like he's just enjoying himself. That's the benefit of having been here before. And honestly, I think even though he's currently not in the position, you know what I'm going to say, I think Zixo's looking all right here as well. A player with so much experience, just willing to take what he's offered, which I think is huge in this meta. Obviously, you need to be offered good stuff if that's the case. But yeah, BP is going to take Murloc Holmes there. Heard people talk that Deathwing might be good, but I think Murloc Holmes is just a really good hero right now. I think the armor makes it over the edge good.
Oh, dude, lighting onto Nathrius again after an absolute disaster of a game in the previous lobby that we played. He's doubling down and saying that my boy, he may have been murdered, but he's going to bring me back to life. And we'll see which quests are offered to him. Hopefully the conditions will be a little bit easier to complete this time, and he'll actually get them done before he's on 1 health.
Yeah, we've seen this a couple of times in prior Lobby Legends when people have been like beaten on a hero. They've like picked it again the next game to just say, look, I know what I'm doing. I was right all along.
Oh, okay. These are much, much more like it. 4 Battlecry minions, that's very doable. A lot of Battlecries on tier 1. And Cooked Book, honestly, I'd consider that as well. 12 cards to your hand is like a, what, turn 5 or 6 kind of condition, theoretically.
Yeah, what's your plan here? So you're in last, you cannot qualify. Is your plan to win a lobby? Yeah, okay. So you can take either of those depending on what your plan is. I think they're sort of equal in strength for MMR. The Cookbook is more risky, but you get more firsts, more 8s, and the Henchman was always very solid, probably going to get you a 3rd quite often there, just because it's just such an early game. And I think Lighting just wants to prove to us, hey, look, I can win a lobby. Let's go.
So Zixo here making a very interesting decision in his own right, because he is in 6th place, currently bottom of the players that can qualify. And he goes for Daryl, which is a very interesting way to go about it, because this is the quintessential good, but not first hero, right? You're looking for 3rd, maybe 2nd, if you're getting a very good game. But it's not generally scaling into a win. It's just getting a very high power spike in the early to mid game. So are you surprised at all by this pick? Is this going to be enough to squeeze him into the top 4?
So let's say Daryl always comes 3rd. That's sort of how we found it in playtesting. That's something that Sottle would love us to say. So yeah, Daryl always comes 3rd. That's the only position Daryl can ever finish in. That would give Zixo 5 points, put him on 11.5. He's saying that 11.5 is enough, often enough, that it's worth taking the Daryl rather than having to take a risk. This is what I was saying about him being experienced enough to take what he's offered.
Yeah.
He offered Daryl, which is kind of one of the highest MMR gain heroes in the game. And he's assessed that his tournament position is just about borderline good enough that he can afford it if he gets 3rd, that he'll probably get through. I quite like the choice.
And so he is relying very heavily on one of the players above him finishing poorly, because I think if they all do well, 11.5 is not going to be good enough. So it's a bit of a gamble here, but I like where his head is at. A pretty unconventional curve, though, on Daryl, I think it's fair to say, with level on 2 and then sell double buy. This is, you know, it's not the usual hoard a bunch of cards and giga buff a pup bot that we're expecting to see.
Yeah, things got a bit weird with Daryl since Imps went up to tier 2 as well. Daryl's odd now, but like you say, yeah, staying on 1, putt-botting it up is usually the thing. Yeah, as Sottle is reminding us, Zixo is very much a don't waste gold on 2, like, ever.
Okay.
It is one of his things that he loves to... Jeeve curve, nah, thanks, why am I wasting gold? Etc., repeat for everything.
All right, big turn here. It's, of course, quest turn for all of our players. But then for Tsura, it's the Togwaggle turn, where you're hoping to chomp up that board, or steal that board, rather, and get yourself a whole bunch of stats. But for right now...
Henchman with Yeah, Evil Twin's the one that caught my eye first, and I realised we're Togwaggle and Henchman's just going to get half the quest done in one button press. I think you still go Twin. It's 15's a lot. It's tough.
It is a lot. I mean, you do 4 of them right now, but these minions, from what I can tell, are not especially juicy-looking ones.
Zixo got the bribe, by the way.
Oh, okay, we'll take a look at that soon, but Anima Bribe for Zixo on Daryl is the most spicy of combos to be able to double down on the Daryl effect and the Anima Bribe to get yourself Omega big minions. But right now, still waiting on what Tessa is going to go for. Like, it's got to be between the left and right. I don't think the Victim Spectre, unless there's 2 Death Rattle minions in the middle, is getting there.
He's also on this 7 points. So Henchman is the MMR play. He's got the same decision Zixo had when taking Daryl. Do I want to go for the slightly more extreme play, which is what he's done? Or do I want to take the play where I'm just going to come 4th or 3rd? And Tesura's decided he wants to get the extreme finish one way or the other and goes for the Twin, which is definitely a better quest if he can complete it. And he's gone with the assessment that he needs to get a decent finish here with only having 7 points so far.
Okay, not an especially impressive board, which means that Tessera could be that player that Zixo is hoping finishes poorly. Because right now, you know, for a post Togwaggle pop-off turn, you're hoping for a lot more stats than this. It looks like it may just be a loss versus Sleepy on the Murloc Homes. But as we said, Zixu getting Anima Bribe does mean that he, I think, needs to play, what, 8 mechs or pirates in order to actually complete this, which is slowly chugging through. That's a very nice one to get on the Gambler. And then, I don't know, you could go for the Leaper if you wanted to, just to get yourself a guaranteed mech. But for right now, it's going to be this weird kind of game where Zixo, contrary to what you'd usually expect on Daryl, tanks a lot of damage in the early game rather than dealing a whole bunch of damage in the early game.
Right.
But then hits like a mega power spike once this hero power plus the Anima Bribe comes online at the same time.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely nutty. So hopefully we get to stay with this for a while on and off, at least, dipping in and out of some Zixo action. But yeah, the second he can complete this, it's going to be interesting to see how he balances the normal Daryl stuff, you know, not dying, all that good stuff, with just completing the bribe. Basically, do it how you want, but Zixo will probably have a pretty efficient way of doing it, because that's exactly his wheelhouse of how his brain works.
Okay, respectable 3 cost minions here for Riverbusa on AFK. The Divine Shield, he's obviously trying to position as much as possible to hit the Taragosa.
Can we just say how great this AFK portrait is as well? Thanks.
I mean, you're a big AFK fan, right?
I am, yeah, absolutely. But this particular portrait's... They're all good. All the AFK portraits are good. This one's
yeah, not the best hits at all for Riverbusa. Means he's taking a narrow loss there. And Sleepy, you know, importantly still hanging on in there. If he was ever going to have a chance, it of course comes through finishing first on the Murloc Homes, which is, with him currently at plenty of health, still very much a possibility. But how are we looking here? 1 Pirate available for Zixo, still going to be a good ways off from completion. Tripling into a 5 here, it looks like, for Angod 5. And on Reno, praying for one of these powerful scaling units. I don't know, something like Hoggar, Nomi, these classic cards that we see. These are quite decidedly not it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see his board, but it's not very big because we don't see any sort of minions at all. So I think Tavern Tempest into not die and live to fight another turn is usually the play here, yeah. Just play 2 minions on the board, because whatever he's done to get this early 5 has destroyed his board.
Quest is spend 30 gold to get for sorry, after each combat, you get a plain copy of the most recent the last minion that died. Sorry, which is Victim Spectre. Sorry, there we go. Forgot the name of the quest, which is potentially pretty good if you can get something that synergizes alongside it. You know, again, you get a Nomi and you start getting a lot of elementals to start synergizing with it, but nothing doing so far, as he's going to be continuing to tank quite a lot of damage towards the bottom of the health total right now, especially with Sesese again on the Kurtrus, and this time getting the stolen gold. He is going to be a huge damage dealer in these next few turns.
Yeah, straight into the spike turn there for Angod 5 when he least needed that to happen, when he was on his sort of his weakest point. So massive damage as we go back to see how Zixo's getting on.
No, oh no, there's a mech, sorry. No pirates, but a mech offered at 3 out of 8 right now. Oh, okay.
He chose to roll.
Okay, we'll take the gambler, 100%.
A lot of gold available here to Zixo. That's the second gambler now, with one already in play. And obviously he's at the sweet spot of Daryl. 9 gold, shop of 4 things, which means the base level math is you buy the 3 things for 9 gold, sell them all, and then the other 3 gold you get from selling them lets you buy the 4th thing in the shop. Obviously, there's a lot of variations on how you do that, but that's why you stay on that tavern tier to get that size shop for a long time.
Nice spike here for Rimgosu, but wow, okay. I was going to talk about Alter Ego, but we'll get back to that in a moment, as Zixo is kind of going in here, taking a mini dance turn, even though there's clearly not a fantastic minion to go in on. No Divine Shields, no real synergy with a lot of buffage here. But I guess just saying he needs to make board space, he needs to keep cycling through here, and it's okay, it gives him a decent board. And to be fair, I was saying that Zixo is probably going to tank a lot of damage in these starting turns. He really hasn't. He's still right up at the top of the leaderboard in terms of health. He's going up against Sesese right now with the stolen gold. But aside from that, it's looking to be a pretty good game for Zixo. Just needs to get the quest completed in like the next 2 turns, I'm going to say, and he should be fine.
Yeah, he knows that when the quest is complete, he's going to be fine. So what he's doing is every turn, basically, is he's just buying the shop, sort of like I described, buying the shop, selling the shop, buying the last thing in there, and repeating that process. And you can see he's got a whole bunch of 9 9s, 8 8s on average. I can see that not one card is that number, but you know what I mean, just middling stuff. He's going to take a bit of a beating here, most likely, but he's just taking very little damage, working his way towards that quest, which will be completed, as you've just described, 1 or 2 more turns, and then he will become incredibly strong incredibly quickly. So it's not panicking, again, showing his experience in the game.
Not a terrible loss for Zixo, an unfortunate 50-50 at the end, obviously, to tank an extra 3 damage, which you're not happy to see, but still fine. He's still got 1 more turn where he can happily take a loss and still end up in a decent position. As right down at the bottom, Angod 5, they're looking to be the first player in the danger zone of below 15 health, and a player who is very much in the danger zone overall, because he was in 4th place, I believe, 8.5 points before this game. And so if he takes a loss here and ends up with 0 points, I think it's very unlikely that he finds himself in that top 4. Almost.
And with that in mind, it's different to what I said earlier. I don't think he's going to know me here. I think it's too late, and I think you don't want that 8th more than you do want the 1st. You just want to finish 3rd or 4th here and get out of town into the next round. So with that in mind, he's just picked what felt like the safest pick. Hopefully Zixo... Oh, we didn't get to see if
here we go.
Messed up the magnetic, but I'm sure he didn't.
I'm sure he didn't, yeah.
And it's time. So now, every time he sells a big minion, he just makes the shop bigger, as well as being Daryl, which makes it bigger, and things are going to scale ridiculously fast. This is kind of the modern-day APM deck.
How does this go? You go buy, roll. I mean, the problem is you don't really want to buy and then roll and end up dumping all your stats on, like, a bunch of separate minions. I guess you could buy and then roll... and then just freeze the board. But in the end, he's saying, okay, I might not be hitting a Divine Shield here, but it's a lot of stats that he's gaining immediately. Yeah,
I might short-term take issue with what you said there. Like, for the short term, maybe you do want to dump stats on a load of different minions.
Okay.
Get your army of 20 things on the board, and then start going, okay, now I want my big Divine Shield, because that will come in time. now I want my stupid mechs, but for now, let's just have 2020s and split it up. And then when I choose to sell them, they'll go on that Divine Shield anyway, so you're not losing the stats, they're not wasted stats. As Angon 5 just could not stabilise here. And this is the other side of Denathrius, right? You called it at the start of the day, Denathrius being a bit nutty when he gets going early.
Yeah, exactly. Just managed to hit that break point where he was able to stabilize, did lighting, whereas Angod 5 obviously unable to do so, finishing the 3 lobbies on 8.5 points. As I said, just monumentally unlikely to be able to make it through at this point. It would have to be one of the biggest turnarounds possible, with Tessura, Zixo, and Sleepy all biting at his heels.
Yeah, and it's actually one of the conditions that Sleepy needed to have any chance.
That's true.
The first condition was Angod 5 has to come precisely 8th. There's plenty more conditions he needs to fulfill, and Zixo's going to break that dream, I think. But yeah, it's basically a fight between Zixo and Tessura here, with Zixo having to make up half a point for 4th place. There's a lot
exactly.
to it, but we'll go with that narrative for now, and if it changes, we'll let you know. I
mean, this is actually pretty funny because Sleepy did need specifically Angod 5 8th, Tessura 7th, which is the 2 things that are happening. He needed to win, which is possible still right now. The thing that is not possible is Zixo needs to finish specifically 6th for him to make it through, which, as we can see, that is not happening.
It depends how murdery Sesisei is, right? If Sesisei is actually ridiculously murdery, which was building up last time we saw them. Thank you, Sottle. He's not particularly murdery at all. We're fine. Zixo's fine. Everyone can calm down.
Yeah, just moderately threatening in a non-mortal manner.
Yeah. So... back we go to Tessura. Tessura obviously against the Ghost.
First time we're seeing Murloc synergy, and there's not much of it going on, as he's unable to make it work with both the Evil Twin, of course, to get himself another Divine Shield, and also just trying to stabilize with all these minions, banking on the fact to be able to beat the Ghost, which is a pretty safe assumption. This looks like a clean enough win to me.
Feel that if you can get Divine Shield on this...
or if you can get a Annoyer module.
This could be alright. It feels like a really slow setup, honestly, but...
he's got some nice scaling.
Get somewhere.
With double Radiant as well.
Huge amount of gold in hand. Yeah, that works out.
Yeah. Just needs to try and avoid a...
there we go.
A last module. Place here, or a 7th, sorry. Yep, module absolutely huge to go alongside the Amalgam.
The thing that's going to get interesting here is with the scatter gun that is Little Rag. He needs to make sure this Amalgam stays as his biggest health minion.
Which is now not.
Which it's now not. Otherwise, he's not going to get the Evil Twin on it. And now Gar's going to ruin that anyway, and Gar's always going to be the biggest minion from this point on.
I mean, Big Gar is not bad, though, right? To copy another one of those, that's a ridiculous amount of health you can work with. But for right now, obviously, he does want to maximize the health on the Amalgam, so he goes Smogger. You can use that to buff up the health. You could even consider taking the Strong Shell on this turn.
Yeah. It's one of those boards that I've talked about all day, a sort of a bit of everything board, but this one doesn't feel like it's a bit of everything that's going anywhere quickly enough. Happy to be wrong.
It's the kind of board that's surviving him the next couple turns, though, given that he's very much in the danger zone, is up against a top of the leaderboard opponent in Sleepy HS right now.
I'm not saying he's done it wrong. I'm not saying this is bad strategy. I'm just saying that it's not necessarily ended up where you would want. You haven't high rolled the lobby. You're doing what you can to survive.
Just need to be playing around Cleave, because I do believe Sleepy is a player who's going for the Faux Reaper. But I think he's done that fairly well. Obviously, he could lose double Divine Shield, but that's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's a big deal for Sleepy. This is the person he needs to come 7th to have a chance of qualifying. He gets a chance to put him out. It's not going to happen, but hey.
Yeah, it's quite decidedly not going to happen, is it? This is already a pretty scary board that Tesura has access to.
Yeah, maybe this board's bigger than I'm giving it credit for Tesura. He does only need to finish above Zigzo as well.
Like, he's got 4 poisons, 2 of them with Divine Shield. That's huge. That's going to take out a lot of people here.
Yeah.
We don't see many people going all out on mechs. I believe Rim Gosu is on Rakara right now.
Zigzo starting to build up that board of Divine Shields. Only has the 2 for now. And now, this is where he needs to know what's going on in the lobby. But he is facing the Kurtrus, who we've established is not particularly terrifying anymore. Short-term terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's transitioned pretty heavily now. I think Kurtrus, or CCC, is on the poison scam of his own with Baron and Selfless as well. So Divine Shields are going to be of the utmost importance for Zigzo, which he can make happen if he sells off all his dragons that... sells off all dragons that don't have Divine Shield or are not this...
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Basically just guarantee Divine Shield on this dragon, and he can get himself another huge Divine Shield with the Amber Guardians. The
absolute state of this, of all of it, of this
is ridiculous
stuff. What's happening?
This is...
Oh my! Ooh. How would you like a huge wildfire?
Yeah, I'm snapping that up every day of the week.
Yeah, I'd play that one. Zigzo looks like a good card. Definitely want to play it.
My God, it's so big.
The size of it. What a promo. Okay. Yeah, freezing, obviously the shot. There's some money in there. There's the wildfire in there. Why wouldn't you freeze it?
Yeah, the wildfire is the next big target that we're looking to hit. You could even like end up dumping the promo Drake, right, in order to get the Anima Bribe buff at that point. Say on the other side, who is going to be going up against Zigzo on this turn, has got the kind of thing that can maybe look to beat this with double Divine Shield, with the Baron as well. I didn't clock that he had the gold as well, but it doesn't die, of course, the counter. Oh, but then it does die. Oh my God. One of the poisons having already gone down. And therefore meaning this is probably not enough, because the health is just a little bit too high, especially with that snipe being taken.
Yep.
It was a nice
huge deal for Zigzo there. Keep an eye on Tesura's health, or possibly even get a chance to flip to the end of Tesura's fight. I know that's really difficult to do in running sometimes.
Ooh. So Tesura staying... winning, staying alive. Lighting staying alive at 1 HP, which means, you know, the Dream's still technically alive for Sleepy if he's able to win the lobby. Tesura loses next, then Zigzo, Lighting wins. Like, it's getting obviously a lot more ridiculous as time goes on. As Sottle showing his very clear preference for what he wants to see in this game of Battlegrounds.
All Sottle has talked about for 4 days is bribe on Daryl, and then he gets dealt it in Game 3. We're going to see this all the time if it happens, and yeah, here it is. And if it happens again, we're going to see it all the time again. It's just Sottle's favourite thing. Sottle, last time I saw, was top 25. I'm not sure if he still is, but yeah, had a pretty good start this season. There's something right on Daryl.
Didn't want to give it plus 120, plus 111. Come on. That was the big boy play.
Not yet. Wait till you triple it.
Oh, then we're talking.
Why have we got 120? Because we can give it Divine Shield, but it's just 120 promo Drake that's just chilling until a real Divine Shield minion turns up.
All right, Rim Gosu on Rakara. We haven't been taking a look at, but I believe he was our first player to get to 6, or actually currently our only player on Tavern Tier 6, right? Which is very interestingly just kind of how this game is going, I suppose. Everyone else scrapping for tempo down beneath him. Whereas he on... what is it? What's that one called? The quest he has completed.
Man looking up at the sky.
Yeah. Alter Ego, that's the one. I was thinking like alternate persona or something. Alter Ego, okay. I guess having some synergy with all the Divine Shields, despite me having been told that it's one of the weaker quests overall.
Yeah, early doors it's sort of half playable, I think, but it is pretty weak. This is the end of Sleepy, by the way. One of the reasons we're watching this, I think, is just see Sleepy depart this tournament.
Yeah, there's no chance of beating this, is there? A good run for Sleepy, but unable to get it done. I mean, coming into this lobby, he knew the odds were 1 in 1,000 or like less even to be able to get that one done. The odds was that everything needs to be so specific, one after the other. But it does mean it ends in a pretty unfortunate run for Sleepy. Lighting here, just managing to hang on in there, right, with the Cooked Books working alongside the mirror in order to give him just a bunch of big divine shields, which, you know, that's very much a kind of third, fourth kind of board. And if you keep hitting good cards like the Reef Explorer, you know, maybe further, because you can just keep juicing the gold more and more.
I think Cooked Books might be one of the equivalent to the standard preview cards where people just get it wrong. Like when we saw the preview for Cooked Books, like, oh my goodness, from a lot of people, like this is nuts. This is like Nomi. Well, yeah, it is, but it's like Nomi you get on turn 14.
Right.
So it's good. It's very good. You can see it's doing work here, especially in the combo you just talked about. But some of the other things scale so much better. Compare this to what Daryl's doing right now. You know, the scaling's quite slow on the Cooked Books, and you can't gold in it. Like Nomi, you can get another Nomi, which helps. So that's fine. But with this Cooked Books, it's not like you get 2 Cooked Books. Really cook them books, man.
You just lightly simmer the books instead of bringing them to a roiling boil.
Just to point out, I think Sleepy was streaming, judging by how he had the setup there. So if you want to hear what Sleepy had to say about this, which, you know, you might want to hear, have a look at what he's doing. There are many other people streaming this event, so...
Yeah, if you want to hear, oh my god, never lucky. God.
If you want to hear some words that you've never heard before, listen to Sleepy and you'll probably learn some new ones.
Selling the Murloc here for, like, what, a little bit of extra stats versus the... Sorry, the Stasis Elemental was interesting, but of course you lose the potential for poison on a Divine Shield, which is very, very tempting, so I can respect holding on to the Murloc for the moment in potentially the last turn of the lobby for lighting. But having said that, this looks winnable, right? As long as he doesn't get horribly unlucky with these Mecharals, his minions are just bigger.
Yeah, he's just got some stuff.
Just got
Divine
stuff.
Shield, 30-30s across the board.
Like
you say it's going to be all about his Mecharal, but he needs to just get out of here.
Yeah, okay, I think we're finally reaching the end of the run for the Mecharal, but that was a lot of lost stats for lighting, for sure.
Oh, survives on 3 health as well.
Oh man, it's getting kind of close actually. Okay, I think still a win, but a little bit closer. Which definitely means that
Zigzo still fighting it out. Now he's looking for conditions where they both make it if they come first, second, and that would involve Gosu doing badly, which doesn't look like it's going to happen. Sesase out on 11 points plus 2 more. That's 13. That'll be enough, you would think.
You'd think so, yeah, after his win in the first lobby, but a definite downturn since then.
Oh, Zigzo versus the Ghost.
Gets another full turn of just juicing. Really looking for any kind of Divine Shield, which that is.
Yeah, decision time. How big do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want to get rid of this stupid little dragon combo that's kind of holding you back in life right now?
Yeah, losing that board space you lose to Amber Guardian is pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah. You just get rid of that right now and stick it all onto an actual Divine Shield minion.
Toxin doesn't do anything right now, but it might. I mean, yeah, I guess you can shift everything else by the wayside and top spin up the 1/4 here or whatever. Any other Murloc along the way, it's probably better than anything else you have.
Yeah, if you want to get rid of the dragon combo now, or at some point, then having these little poisons now, you have the space for it, which you wouldn't have had before. And
to be fair, he doesn't actually need to hit the. Get rid of the dragon combo right now, right? He's still got board space. He can just leave himself with 1 massive minion at the end of this turn.
Yep. Yeah, he's in no hurries against the Ghost. Just setting up for what he wants to do next turn. Oh, it's so stupid how they just suddenly grow in size because of the Devil ability on top of the... Oh my goodness, it's so dumb.
They get real big.
Choosing just to take a 25 shield there rather than buffing it to some sort of crazy size. Maybe he
the last fight for Tsura, who's on the Evil Twin plus Wildfire combo. But with all of these Mechrals, that might not be good enough, right? Running into Divine Shields, that's the last thing you want to see.
Yeah, and it is good enough for Zixo, almost certainly, if this happens as well.
Oh, huge hit.
Will be picking up the points. He's overtaken Amgod already.
Oh, such a clutch last couple of hits. I think that does mean that Tsura is able to stay in worse hits, and he would have been definitely dying to all those Mechrals. But Riverpusa falling by the wayside now. I think also guaranteed to make it through, given that he finished in first at the end of the first two lobbies, walking away with 3 points now, up to 14.5.
This is nutty, and a reminder that Tsura is half a point ahead of Zixo. So if they both go out now, which for what we've seen is an unlikely scenario, Zixo would go out by half a point in fifth, unless they've all overtaken somebody that I've missed out. But I think that's how it will go.
And so Zixo is up against a whole bunch of Divine Shields on the Mechrals is the really scary thing. So it's mainly just about juicing up these stats as much as possible. These Murlocs have a very good chance of just being thoroughly underwhelming on this turn. But with 2 Divine Shields in the shop, he has the ability to juice up the stats on these Divine Shields very, very heavily. Puckbot, Omega big already. And this Deflecto bot is going to end up absolutely enormous as well.
Yeah, and I don't think he will have a very clear idea what he's up against here either. Pretty sure he hasn't played Rigoso anytime recently, and you know you'll get some read, but you see mechs and you know there's going to be shields, but you don't know exactly what sort of shields it's going to be. Whether it's going to be refreshing Deflectos, whether it's going to be refreshing Mechrals, but either way, you know your poisons are probably a bit garbage. I'd expect the positioning to change a little bit here.
Does really want to hit this 50-50 if possible, or he needs to start selling mechs unless he's not taking the Deflecto on this turn. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
It's fine, right? There's no reset anyway, so whatever.
It's another Divine Shield though, which is a very big difference. Oh man, it's so close. It's tough to say. Is Puckbot enough to carry it?
He's hit the left-hand Mechral here
on the Mechral so far. Ooh, okay, okay. That's big.
He needs to kill the Mechral. Okay, now he's got a chance. Now I think he gets there.
I think that does it. Yeah, he's just too big now.
So the next question is, does Tsura survive?
Just about, yeah.
Oh, Tsura's out! And Zixo looks like he's clinched. I'm not an official source, as always remind me, but I think Zixo will have clinched that top 4 spot with that. And looking at his face, I think that confirms it too. There's a whole lot of relief on that face. I know the Zixo faces. They all look exactly the same as each other.
Guaranteed at least 5, up to 11.5 now. Looking to be what Riverpusa, Seisei, Rimgosu, and Zixo at the moment.
I think so. I haven't actually looked to see if anyone dropped down below those. I was just keeping an eye on Zixo and Tsura.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Also, the most important thing, Darrell, that's going to happen right now is we need Zixo to win this fight. Otherwise, Sottle and his devil always comes third memes are going to be way too much for me to handle.
So we want Sottle to be better than he thought he was and actually finish second every time rather than...
I don't care where Devil finishes as long as it isn't precisely third, to be honest. But let's face it, Devil always finishes third. We know this. So, yep, use the shields to get rid of any potential shields, using the poison to bump things off. But last time you saw Zixo put those poisons towards the back, he knew he was up against refreshing shields, even if he didn't know exactly where they were. This time, he's not expecting refreshing shields. Lol, good luck with that. Unlucky. So he's putting the poisons in different spots. Going to allow him actually to take down this one taunt minion very early on, so he has got the positioning right, Zixo, on the other side.
Yep, nice.
I think his second poison's late, right? Sorry, don't. Yeah.
I'll go for it.
I think his second poison's late, Zixo, so he's put the first poison in position 2, so he takes this down. No, the third poison's actually just going to have an accident. Okay.
Not necessarily. It could take one of the Deflectos, right? Oh, no, sorry, it can't.
There was opportunity for it to get lucky, but yeah, in general, you'd have wanted it further back for maximum output. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114
Oh, another reset on the deflectors. Is that going to be enough? It's real tight right now. Looking for a clutch poison on the pop bot.
He is only on tier 4 as well, so he's not guaranteed to kill Zixo here.
Guaranteed to take the win. Guaranteed to knock him out as well at 7 damage exactly. Man, Lighten having the game of his life now, turning it around after a 7th and an 8th in the previous 2 lobbies.
Stop it, Zottel! Getting that 3rd place across the screen. We know what you're doing. That was funny. Okay, I'll give you that one.
And Rim goes just managing to hang on in there, right? I kind of thought he was being outscaled for the most part, but either he got some lucky fights, some good mackerel hits, or maybe this is just stronger than I anticipated. But he's getting there right now. I don't know if it's going to be enough to stand up against all those Divine Shields from Lighting, as he is just constantly scaling more and more every turn. But it's going to be a close one for sure.
Yeah, I think the Mechals have just scaled. You can see the attack being so much bigger than the health. They've just scaled really well through the course of these fights from the bot. So he's never looked strong, like crazy strong, but he's been slightly ahead and keeping there, like scaling slightly at the same speed as everyone else while starting off ahead, basically.
Looking for... Would you take...
Looks like his stuff's bigger.
Golem there in order to get another refresh? Maybe, maybe not. Ooh, the big Tunnel Blaster is interesting, right? Because his opponent is obviously reliant on Divine Shields, but there's the Mechrals there as well, which can mess up the anti-Divine Shield strategy a bit.
Yeah, he's had this fight before, being relayed to us. Obviously, interesting how you go about putting your Selflesses here. Of course, they're not going to die to the Tunnel Blaster, so you want it to run into something, but being a 46-45, it's a little bit awkward, but I'm sure we'll find a way to kill it. There we go. Okay.
Oh, huge hit there in order to take out the other Mechal. Now it's looking like these stats are just going to be a little bit too much, but all Lighting.
Yes, I'm keeping an eye because there's 48 hitting into either 48 or 49 there, for instance. There's a lot of absolute...
Ooh, that was not a good hit.
Terminal break points going on in this one, but he is going to get there. And it's not going to be enough for him to survive in the tournament, but it is going to be enough for him to finish and sort of say, hey, look, I can play this game. I picked Anathri as it came 8th, picked it again, came 1st.
Yeah, it was a very well-played game by Lighting. That combo that he got on Denathri at this time of Cooked Books plus the Mirror. Very, very cool to see. The interaction that you can get with more than one quest working together. I honestly didn't think that that would be a first-place kind of combo. I thought that would be a solid, you know, Daryl-style combo where you get top 3 that way. But in the end, obviously, Daryl had to finish 3rd place, even with the anima bribe, sorry, to go alongside it. Not anime bribe. That sounds like something much more unpleasant. But for with that all said and done, we're collating the results. But I think that does mean that Zixo just scrapes in, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
Place from the looks of it.
Yeah, that was... I think so. I'm not going to commit to it, but I'm pretty sure he just sneaks above Tesura by half a point and grabs that 4th place.
Tough game for a lot of our competitors who are close to making it, but unable to clutch out. Tesura and Angod5 being the main 2, right? Who right on that threshold. They were in 4th and 5th, potentially able to get the job done. But just coming out 1 place below Zixo. Tough game for Tesura. I liked his strategy, you know, playing the only real curve you can do on Togwaggle, but just hitting really rough boards at the start meant he lost a little bit too much health and had no buffer to work with.
Yeah, I just want to go back to that decision that Zixo made as well, right? He chose Daryl knowing Daryl always comes 3rd, which I said at the time, it's not exact, but it's a reasonable description of what Daryl does. And he knew that he was relying on other things to go his way if he did that. It was the maths play, which is, when you're as experienced as Zixo, the sort of the play you end up making more often than not. But it could have backfired, right? He could have come 3rd and still not made it, but he just relied on, you know what, the things that have to go against me if I do come 3rd have to go so wrong that I'm just going to take that and see what happens. And it looks like it's got him into that top 4.
Very nicely done. And I'm happy for Lighting that he was able to get a good game again. We didn't want to see him come in relative unknown and just finish 7th, 8th, 8th with Denathrius games in a row at the end there. So getting that win there shows he clearly knows what he's doing. Very impressive to have made it to this point in the first place anyway. As here we see our breakdown, and pretty much, Lorinda, we were on the money. Good job.
Yeah, we're always right. We always commit.
Yeah. Never get it wrong. As Tessera just missing out by half a point on that top 4, which he would actually almost have been able to clutch out. But Zixo getting the win there in 3rd place means that that is our top 4 going through to tomorrow from Group A. Rimgosu, Ribapusa, Sesase, and Zixo clutching in that 4th spot. Some exciting games.
Yeah, and 3 players that we've seen in Lobby Legends before in that top 4 there, which isn't a massive surprise because we've also seen Sleepy before and so on, I think. But it does show that a little bit of experience under the pressure of only having 3 lobbies to prove yourself, maybe. Obviously, it shows it's sample size of 1 lobby, right? Obviously. Yeah. But we could see the relaxedness there in SSA in particular of just, yeah, I'm here, I'm Lobby Legends again, here's what I do. Things going right, things going wrong, just getting on with it. Zixo making clear decisions and so on. So happy for Lighting getting that win there, because then when he's here again in future, he's got that win under his belt. So a lot less pressure to show people what you can do.
Very much so. With that all said and done, I believe we are now going to be getting Group B set up, which means a break for that as well, even though we're not... Yeah, okay, cool. Getting that all set up. Brilliant. So when we come back, XQN fans can rejoice because he will be playing alongside all of our other worthy competitors in Group B to find out who our remaining 4 players will be joining us on Sunday. We'll be right back after this break.